Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings coming at you on behalf of epicconversions.com. Hope you're doing amazing out there. And today I want to talk to you about Gemini. Google Gemini. If you don't know what that is, and you haven't heard about this story already, I'll just quickly tell you. Google Gemini is a picture generator. It's kind of like Dolly or Midjourney. It's powered by artificial intelligence and it generates pictures based on text prompts. It's made by Google. It's been in the news recently because it has been found to have a bias against white people, especially white guys, white men. Pretty much biased against Caucasians, especially men. Now, I want to make an argument for you now that might be a little different than what other people are saying out there. But I think this blatant racism from Google's Gemini is actually a good thing. It's a good thing for society. It's a good thing for the world. It's a good thing for your business. And I'll tell you why. Because it's hard to refute it. People on the extreme left that want to believe that people on the extreme right are insane, or that all conservatives are right-wing nut jobs or whatever. See, they can't really dispute that there's something wrong with Gemini. There's too much out there about this picture generator that it just proves there's such a bias. And Google actually has apologized for this bias. Now, they have doubled down a little bit because, they say they're going to continue to move in that direction, but they're going to try to be more careful when it comes to the nuance of actual history. I mean, last I checked, you can't even get a picture of a white person from this software. It's amazing. It's clear racism, but the thing is, it's actually a good thing, because this is gonna kind of like truly open, I think, society at large's eyes to, what I think has been a problem for a few years now. And that is the fact that, I think the only, here's another controversial opinion for it, but I think the only real, people who are being marginalized in this country are white people, white men, especially. The funny thing about this whole Gemini thing is, and this is where we kind of move into business stuff, but the funny thing about this Gemini thing is that you gotta understand, these guys try to say they're gonna fix it. It's a technology thing. What you gotta remember is it's not the artificial intelligence's fault. It's the people behind the artificial intelligence with a bias. It's their fault. They're the ones to blame for the insanity. They have trained this AI to be this way. Now, whether that's just the way they feel and they've had ultimate power and control over this technology, which I doubt, or it's coming from a higher place who's telling them to program it this way, which is probably more reasonable, But I think it's good because it opens the eyes of people who are more neutral, people who want to kind of not really make waves. They don't really want to take a stance too strong one way or the other, right? Those people, which I think that makes up the majority of the world, to be honest. People who just want to get on with their lives. They don't really care what color you are. They don't really care what gender you are, what you got between your legs. They don't really care. I think most people fall into that category. Most people feel like it's just about, what kind of a person are you? How good are you at what you do? And I think most people would agree a meritocracy is best. I don't think anyone wants some kind of an unfair advantage in this world just because they happen to be a certain skin color or they happen to be a certain gender, you know. At least I wouldn't. I want to know that I've gotten what I've gotten on my own merit. But anyway, it goes beyond Gemini. There's a clear bias in Silicon Valley. There's a clear bias in Hollywood against white people right now, especially Caucasian men, which is basically just racist. That's all it is. Just pure racism. My son was doing a report today on, he was using Microsoft Word, and in his essay, he tried to use the word yes man. He was making a point and he used the word yes man. And this is not Google Docs, this is Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word corrected him and said, hey, yes man could be considered gender insensitive or culturally insensitive. Consider changing this to yes person or some other alternative. It's just, I can't make this stuff up. They've patched diversity and inclusion into Microsoft Word. It's so crazy. But anyways, back to Gemini. Yeah, I think ultimately it's a good thing because it's going to open people's eyes a little bit. People who aren't so far right-leaning, but just like normal people are going to look at that and they're going to say, wow, that's pretty bad, you know? At least they should, if they're not just so far disillusioned. You know, I think it's going to make a lot more people open their eyes up to, you know, what's actually been happening. And hopefully there's some deeper thinkers out there who are going to think a level or two deeper and ask themselves, why is this happening? You know, I understand, you know, having people represented a little bit more, but, you know, what this is just like anti-white. That's what this is. This isn't like representation. This is like racism against one particular race and one particular gender of that race, specifically, you know? So, yeah, I think it's going to open people's eyes a little bit. That's a good thing. How does it apply to your business? This applies to everyone's business. You gotta think about this for a second. Why do people use an image generator, right? They're using it to generate specific images for their business, right? Now you go to Google Gemini and you can't even get an image of a white family or a white man. It won't even generate that for you. Like, you got to realize at some point that the people behind this tech who are supposed to be 100% steeped in making the best piece of tech that they can make, they're supposed to be focused on excellence. Instead, what are they focused on? They're focused on something that is ridiculous. Diversity, inclusion, equity. They're focused on things that they shouldn't be focused on. That's not what they should be focused on. I don't need my picture generator to lecture me on the finer points of, you know, racism. I don't need it. And nobody needs it. Nobody asked for it. So anybody can understand that. Like, even the wildest left-wing crazy person or the wildest right-wing crazy person, they can all understand that they don't really need their image generator lecturing them on the finer points of, you know, racism. Nobody asked for that. Nobody needs it. So what do you have? You have a company that is not focused on its market anymore. It's not focused on what its market wants anymore. It's so arrogant that it is now focused on trying to push a narrative at its market instead of delivering something of high quality that would serve its market, right? And that's what it's telling you. So what that means is you really need to take a hard look at that when it comes to your business. You know, you should always be trying to serve your market, you know? Keep your eye on the ball of what you're trying to do. Now, me personally, I got my foot in PLR and I got my foot in information. And the whole thing for me is about internet marketing and online business. That's what I talk about, internet marketing and online business. How can I help people start their online businesses? How can I help people grow their online businesses? So essentially, and I talked about this in a podcast a while ago, I focus on business opportunity and business improvement. These are two different, subsects of online business and internet marketing. And I kind of got my hand in both of them a little bit. But what I'll tell you is when you see a company that big that have taken their eye off the ball that much, right, there's a big problem there. So what I say is keep your eye on this news. Keep your eye on this news. Use any of it you can for relevant topics when it comes to your business. When it comes to your business, you should always be thinking about how you should serve your marketplace. What is the point of this product you put out? In the case of Google Gemini, the point is to generate pictures. The point is to generate images that serve people. Why would people use that? They'd use that because they need an image for a book cover, or they need an image for some kind of ad creative, or they need an image for a website graphic. They need an image for this or that, the other thing. What they need is a software that can produce any image that they type in. Any text prompt that they type in, it can produce that image. That's the magic of generative picture generators, right? I call them picture generators. That's what they are. That's the magic of them. They can produce like an image of anything. That's the promise, right? That's the promise. Nobody said ever that they want to go to an image generator and be lectured on the finer points of diversity and inclusion. Nobody said that ever. That completely defeats the point of the picture generator. So what I'm telling you is keep your eye on the ball. Now, I would think that no one out there would take their eye off the ball that much. Like, to me, there must be some nefarious, entity behind all of this that is just trying to, I don't know, like wreck America or something. I don't know what it is, because I don't understand how we got so twisted around with this nonsense. It's just blatant racism hiding as diversity and inclusion. It's basically just racism against white people. So anyways, I honestly think the racism of this Google Gemini thing is kind of a good thing, because it's going to wake people up a little bit more. No pun intended. But anyways, that's just my take on it. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not trying to be contrarian here at all. I'm just telling you what I think. This is truly what I think. I was laughing when I heard this story about this, picture generator. I was laughing because it's something I've been talking about for a few years with my family and stuff, and pointing it out, to the point where the people around me kind of get sick of me talking about it. But, even they looked at, even the people around me looked at this Gemini thing and were like, oh, wow, yeah, that's pretty bad. It's hard not to. So, the idea that this AI is so twisted up that it can't even produce an image of a white person, it's laughable, man. It's so topsy-turvy and so nuts. It's a great lesson for businesses to really take a look at what's happening and make sure that their ultimate goal is to serve their market, right? And that's what it should always be about. So anyways, that's all I got. Hope you guys are doing amazing out there. If any of this resonates with you, be sure to get over to epicconversions.com, sign up for my free newsletter, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, peace now.